Hello everyone and welcome to yet another weekly news update for Jurassic World Evolution 2. We're getting a lot of information about the game, and if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on any new species or new features, then these are the videos for you. Every Saturday you get the news, and in between you get tips and tricks and inspiration and content. We can make it quick this week, so let's do that. This week Frontier gave us another park management guide instead of a species field guide. While I think most of us would have preferred a species field guide, particularly about this bad gal, it was a pretty good park management guide, you know, as far as those go. I feel like the first park management guide was the best because it gave us so many species reveals, and this one gave us, well, none of that. Diplodocus we already knew about, and there's some unrecognizable, out of focus theropod that is impossible to identify, so nothing to get excited about yet in that regard. The guide was about park teams, and not a lot of new stuff there, but here's a summary to whom it may concern. The functions of the teams are divided as follows. The ranger teams perform status checks on the dinosaurs, so we have up-to-date information on whether they, dig their enclosures, and the rangers can use a flare. They can also take pictures for a small profit, and of course are still responsible for repairing fences and buildings. The helicopter team can tranquilize, and we can shoot freehand or lock onto the target, which will be very necessary when we're trying to dart compies from the air, and well, that's it. That's all the helicopter team does. The mobile veterinary unit performs medical scans and cares for sick and injured dinosaurs. They vaccinate dinosaurs against diseases you've researched, and boy, is that a hot button topic. Frontier's pro-vaccination confirmed. All three teams can be manually operated by the player. When you place a ranger post in an exhibit and assign a ranger team to that post, the team will patrol the exhibit routinely to check on the dinosaurs and refill the feeders. If you also assign a helicopter team or capture team to that ranger post, they dispatch every time the rangers do and preemptively tranquilize dinosaurs that pose a threat to the ground team. The capture team can also be assigned to accompany the MVU to keep them safe and be on the scene in case a dinosaur is so badly wounded that it needs to be transported to the paleomedical facility. The community, as far as I can tell, is divided on whether this segmentation of tasks is welcome or not. I do like that teamwork makes the dream work, but I am gonna miss the ease of both the jeeps and the helicopters just being able to do it all. The park management guide shows off a beautiful temperate landscape, and the park is probably the same as that UK location that we got to see in a video that revealed the Ichthyosaurus and Sierradactylus under the guidance of Jeff Goldblum himself. But I mean, sure, it's beautiful, but is it big though? A question mark hovers over map sizes, and I honestly think Frontier should just remove that question mark, turn it into an excited exclamation mark, and show us a big map. Because they've been telling us that maps will be bigger, but they haven't conclusively shown it yet. And it's causing panic with some people. But until we have confirmation of the contrary, I am going to trust their word that we will be getting bigger maps, and I'll be keeping my eyes peeled. At some point, even by accident, they have to be showing us these bigger maps. That is why I thought it was very possible that this temperate map is our first look at a big map. There's a very attention-grabbing, flat, forested area that connects to this section of the park through a perfect little corridor. That makes me think it could be an expandable, buildable area for this map, as I think that is how Frontier is going to give us bigger maps that were promised, while also still doing their thing of imposing size limitations during campaign and challenge mode gameplay, by making the maps expandable. I go more in depth into this theory in last Wednesday's video, so if that piques your interest, you can check that out right here. If I remember to link it, if I didn't, shout at me down below. But it is a theory, and the point of the weekly news updates are, as the title implies, the news, the facts. Aside from the beautiful coastline environment, the park management guide also showed us decorations, all of which we have already seen before, by the way, so I'm really hoping to see some more new decorations coming in, but the fact that we're getting decorations finally is huge, big, amazing, wonderful. Something interesting Arid07 pointed out to me on Discord is that it appears we are seeing trikes and stegos live together in harmony, even though we've learned previously that these two species don't mix and will fight over territory. Several explanations are possible here. The one I'm leaning towards is that this is a sandbox map. I talked about that before in Wednesday's video, and they could have just disabled the likes and dislikes of the dinosaurs. There could also be a genome option that enables us to keep species together that don't typically mix, comparable to the Dr. Wu social genes. Or 3, the trikes and stegos actually did end up fighting over the territory, we just didn't see that happen in the footage. No new species to add to the list, so this is still where we are at. I'm really hoping to scratch off this question mark for the Tylosaurus next week. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for a species field guide on this marine reptile, so we finally have confirmation of what it is. And I thought there were no interesting tweets either this week, but apparently this tweet about the capture teams being able to tranquilize and relocate marine reptiles has the community abuzz. Several people messaged me this, with D-Ruff being the first. Big thanks to my network of spies, as always, of course. I personally thought it was kind of obvious that we'd be able to trank and relocate the marine reptiles. I didn't expect any differently. But yeah, for the people who did think differently, here is that confirmation. I'm still trying to figure out exactly why people are so excited about this. I think the Reddit post at the time of recording has like 600 upvotes or something, which is a lot for the community. And the only thing I can figure out is that maybe people think that they could just drop a marine reptile anywhere. I think there's going to be a very strict limitation. I think you can only put a marine reptile into another lagoon. So, you know, they're giving you the option of having basically an incubation lagoon, the same way we do in the current game, where we place one incubation lab and we just, you know, we release the dinosaurs out there, and then we fly them over somewhere else. I think they're giving us that option. Or let's say you release like 2 species into the same lagoon, and whoopsie, you realize that they don't really play well together. Obviously, at that point, you're gonna have to move one of them, or they're just gonna be miserable together, and that's going to be causing trouble. So I really think that's just the case. You know, it's not going to be like, let me put this ichthyosaurus out here by the parasols. I don't think that's going to be the case. You're not going to be seeing a marine reptile flopping around on the ground because you decided to put it there and see what happens. I think you can only take them from one lagoon and put them into the other, or of course, when they are injured, take them to the paleomedical facility. If you enjoy the weekly news updates, give the video a like. That helps the video and the channel reach more Jurassic World Evolution fans. And subscribe if you yourself are a Jurassic World Evolution fan and you want more content. Thank you so much for watching, liking, subscribing, and until next time, enjoy the anticipation.